I want you to look at the two Gundams in the screen. If you watch Gundam at all, pretend to know nothing about the franchise and then tell me, based on the designs and visual appeal, which one of these would you choose to watch? I'm willing to bet most of you picked the right one. A VTuber's character design is much more important than one realizes. Their art style, visual motifs, everything visual about them. Think about the best character designs from any VTuber. Ayame, Calliope, Millie, Juniper, and a shit ton of other VTubers come to mind. If you know any of these VTubers, you probably looked up a shit ton of fan art about them, or even spent entire streams just looking at their avatar. The appeal of a VTuber is that they can emulate an anime character's feels, looks, and general company while acting like a real person. And to capture your audience and put them in that fantasy, you need a good visual appeal. It's the same reason why the audience of normal streamers prefer to watch prettier girls. I'm not going to generalize the VTuber community, but unfortunately it's the terrible truth. If you're not appealing visually, you're probably not going to make it as far as the others, unless you have an extremely engaging talent or if you're a natural-born comedian. However, that's one of the appeal of VTubing. If you're unfortunate enough to not be, well, visually appealing in real life, in the digital world, you can change how you look. However, that too has its costs. For one, a model and a character is very expensive, and as you know, that's a huge risk, especially with the explosion of the VTubing industry where the market is quite saturated. Even if you have a good design, what use is it if you can't advertise yourself or if you can't market yourself? This is why a lot of indie VTubers have turned to creating their own avatars or asking friends to make them, but... Alright, I'm not gonna name names, but I'm sure you've seen VTubers with less than appealing avatars, and I hope them the best, really. But if you want to be a successful VTuber, you need a great avatar.
I'm just gonna join a company like Hololive or Niji Sanji instead. I have the talent to entertain people, but I don't have the money or the contacts to get myself a cool model.
Well, if you thought you can fully control the design of your avatar and choose the artist or modelers once you join a company, then I'm sorry to break it to you, that's not how companies and agencies work. I'm going to bring to you 4 examples of VTubers whose fanbase will probably crucify me for saying this, that had their general degree of success be attributed to their character design, or at least aided in drawing a lot of fans and audience members. Let's get to my first case study specimen. This VTuber is a very successful one. She's delightful, she's talented, and she deserves all the praise in the world. This VTuber is Iris. Now, Iris is an interesting case. Her character design is absolutely beautiful, her aesthetics are majestic, and she's extremely talented. But the issue is of her art style. It has led to a lot of people being reluctant in giving her a chance and following her. This is a tricky part of art styles. Their appeals are very subjective. An artist's art style can appeal to some but dissuade others, which is why agencies and indie VTubers prefer having their avatars be made by famous artists just to stay safe. And in Iris' case, however, that was an entirely different story. Thankfully, the oddity of Iris' unique style didn't dissuade much viewers, but with the hype around her character and debut, it felt like she could have had a better rise to stardom if only her avatar was different. It's the nose. It's the nose. It's the weird thing. Many people initially didn't appreciate her enough to actually subscribe and support her, but this is the thing, Iris had insane fucking talent, which led to people subscribing and supporting her in spite of her odd avatar. A few people even grew fond of it. Iris was one of the lucky few that were hits despite the odd avatar, and it was because of her talent, marketing, and adorable personality that saved all of that. I'm sure even you were taken aback by the avatar. Some of you may even be reluctant in watching her because of it. But regardless, I hope you still watch her even if the avatar unsettles you. However, Iris is an outlier. She managed to obtain support of reluctant fans because even though her face was weird, she had a bomb aesthetic, majestic singing voice, and she is an absolute delight. Many VTubers, however, aren't as lucky. Enter Sana and Anya, whose slow growth relative to their genmates can be mostly attributed to how their avatar looks. I'm gonna talk about Sana first because, oh my god. How terribly they've done you, sweetheart. Sana is a fucking cinnamon roll, okay? She's just as goofy and adorable as the others. I don't care if you disagree, you're wrong. However, if you look at the viewership and subscriber numbers compared to the rest of the council, you'll notice a significant gap. This can be attributed to her character avatar. When you compare the 5 council members, the odd one out is Sana. You look at her and you'll notice that her face is less charming than the rest. This isn't anyone being racist. Nobody cares that her skin is black. In fact, a lot of people love that it's black. Now, I'm not sure if Sana is happy with her avatar or not, But ultimately, when signing up to an agency, you can't really fully control what your character avatar looks like. You can give them ideas, but how the artists will use those ideas will be up to them. I'm certain that if Hololive only gave Sana a better model, she would have been more successful than how she's doing. Though it feels like an injustice, please don't attack Cover or attack the artist behind her. I don't want this video to be insightful. Cover has their agendas and Sana probably had complaints too. They'll learn from this, okay? Sana accepted it. Next, I want to talk about Anya. Ooh boy. Let me preface this by saying that Indonesian branches have unfortunately lower success rates than any other branches. Hana Makia, Muna, and Oli are exceptions, as their closer associates, social connections, and personality quirks make them stand out from the crowd. Looking at any other Indonesian VTubers though, and you start to see my point, Zia Cornelia, Ayofi, and a shit ton of others, the Indonesia branches need to do more than EN or Japanese branches combined, because they're in the unfortunate position to be less popular. If you can't be associated with a popular meme like Risu, or be close with a more popular VTuber like Muna and Pecora, or be an absolute batshit crazy person like Oli and Hana, or have a shit ton of Rule 34 fan art like Rene, chances are you're going to need to be pretty amusing and have a great visual appeal, which of the latter, Anya didn't have. I'm aware that Anya has her flaws that didn't allow her to be as successful as her genmates. For one, she's very solitary, which disables her chances of gaining traction through association like Muna did. Nothing interesting happened to her which got her to be recognized as a meme like Risu, and her avatar wasn't hot like Rene's. Although these are valid reasons, her character design was also a vital aspect that didn't allow her to be as successful as she deserves to be. Because, well, look at it, I'm just gonna say it, Anya's character avatar doesn't do her justice. If Rainy was designed to be fucking hot, if Oli was designed to be energetically visually appealing, why didn't Anya get any of that? Why did Anya's character design lack character and style? I'm not the only one mad about this. A lot of people were mad that Anya's rigging and her character was very underwhelming too. Even if Anya's flaws lent a hand in her underwhelming success, she should at least have a good character avatar to mitigate that. So those are examples of VTubers whose visual appeal made a significant impact over their viewership and fanbase, in a negative way that is. But how about a VTuber, an indie one even, that were successful in part due to their character design? In fact, it made such a great impact it even spawned a genre of its own. Let me introduce you to Amatsuka Uto. Now I'll make a separate video discussing how Uto rose to stardom so miraculously with little to no marketing. This time I'll only discuss how her visual appeal caused a phenomena. See, Uto had a lot of her success be owed to one of Nabi's other daughter, Amelia Watson. Why? Because that was essentially what intrigued many viewers to watch her. Before Uto exploded as the VTuber she is today, she was just known as Amelia Watson's sister. Her visuals were so appealing and iconic and similar to an already proven to work aesthetic that it alone was able to rack up and draw curious eyes. This is why it's also important to be able to choose your artist, because if the work of your artist has already proven to be successful, sure enough, you are going to get some flack of those success. Fans of those artists and their daughters are going to be a part of your audience. Uto's design solidly captured everything about her. Her childlike innocence, her cuteness, her angel-like personality, everything. Her design became so influential, in fact, that it spawned an entire genre of Nabi pen designs. Her success even overflowed over to Nabi herself, which encouraged her to debut as a VTuber. Now again, Uto's success was attributed to Amelia Watson's success, and to be fair, although Uto did start a new genre, it's not like her sisters are doing better because of it. However, Uto's success did encourage Nabi to debut herself as a VTuber, so her design's impact is still, well, impactful. These are the great effects that visual appeal can have on a VTuber, which is obviously important in an industry that needs you to be a cute anime girl. It goes to show you that even if you're in a big agency like Hololive or Nijisanji, your relative success still requires great visual appeal. It's a problem that can only really be overlooked if a VTuber has a great talent, great marketing, and an iconic personality. Unfortunately, most VTubers aren't blessed with all of these, and they undeservingly suffer as a result. If you're a viewer who cares fuck all about visuals, I applaud you. In an industry who relies on aesthetics, design, and looks just as much as personality, you make a VTuber's job much easier. So yeah, takeaway from this video is that bad visuals bad, good visuals good. Obviously. Regardless if you're in an agency or not. That's all folks. Sub and like please. I plan to do more videos like these in the future.